Sinner and a Saint. I'm Melissa Bell.
And I'm Allison Kane.
And so far, how are you doing during this holiday season? There's shopping and traffic and not a lot of sunlight.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Lots of togetherness.
Lots of togetherness.
Yes, lots of communication and planning, and with different personalities and family members that you only see every now and then.
Every now and then.
We fall apart. Well, as God would have it, I was reading Romans 12.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
And this has got to be the Message translation because it is like packs a punch.
It does.
Is it the Message translation?
It is. It totally is. It's so good too. Starting in verse 11, it says, "Don't burn out.
Too late.
Keep yourselves fueled and aflame. Be alert servants of the Master, carefully expectant," which we should be at Christmas.
I love carefully expectant.
Me too. Cheerfully, not carefully. Cheerfully.
Cheerfully
Can't even read my own.
Yay.
I love that. Cheerfully expectant. Don't quit in hard times. Pray all the harder. Help needy Christians. Be inventive in hospitality. Bless your enemies. No cursing under your breath. It says that. I didn't make
Does
that
that mean
up.
you can do it out loud?
Maybe.
Okay.
It just says under your breath. Laugh with your friends when they're happy. Share tears when they're down. Get along with each other. Don't be stuck up. Make friends with nobodies. Don't be the great somebody. Don't hit back. Discover beauty in everyone. If you've got it in you, get along with everybody. Don't insist on getting even. That is not for you to do. I'll do the judging, says God.
Oh.
I'll take care of it. And we know how creative he is about that. So I was thinking, first of all,
What's Romans 12 what?
11 through
Girl.
20.
That was...
Isn't that amazing?
I could just like chew on every one of those words.
I know. I really could do a whole week on just these couple of verses, and I really want to dissect it a little bit more. I mean, we could do a whole podcast series on each one of these. We might need to think about that for the new year.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our little reading inside our brains.
In case you
But
wonder
y'all
what
get to
this
hear it out loud. So I was thinking, these are all amazing things, but it starts with don't burn out. Keep yourselves fueled and aflame. And I thought to myself and asked the question, what are you fueling yourself with? What is keeping you aflame?
Protein bars and energy drinks.
Which is good, right? For nourishment, so you don't get hangry. But if we're not staying in the Word, then none of these other things are possible. Being cheerfully expectant, not quitting in the hard times, praying, helping others, blessing our enemies, laughing and crying with our friends, getting along with each other, not being stuck up. None of this is possible if we are not fueled up on the Word of God. And when we're fueled up on that, then it's so much easier to deal with our own issues and all the things, have more confidence in who we are in Christ. And I thought my next question was, what in us, in you, tempts you towards inauthenticity in your relationships and encounters with other people? Being authentic is risky. It's risky business, people.
Risky business.
Risky
Tom Cruise
business.
told us
That's
all
right.
about it.
I mean, we are afraid of judgment.
We're afraid of people seeing. I think when you're not grounded in who you are and how God created you, you're afraid of someone seeing through you because you're always showing up inauthentically because you don't even know where that lands.
That's
So
exactly
you
right.
don't want someone else to find that treasure first.
So here is a counselor, tried and true fact for y'all. You don't even have to pay.
Is this Dr. C?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Good old Dr. C. When you are in a situation with someone new and you feel yourself, you put yourself in that situation or you're in it, what are you thinking that person is thinking about you? That you're not pretty enough, that you're not
projection.
smart enough. Like, what are you feeling insecure about? That is exactly how you feel about yourself. You are projecting that and you're thinking, these people are thinking this, and this about me.
Oh.
But that is truly what you think about yourself. And that's a fact, people. Take it to the bank. And so a lot of times when we have these fears and anxieties, what happens is we turn into people pleasers. Because we want people to like us. We want people to accept us. We want people to think the best of us. And because we don't really feel that way about ourselves. And so we get into this people-pleasing mode. Shall we go into some you might be a people pleaser ifs?
I love it.
Okay. You might be a people pleaser if you say yes when you really mean no.
Oh, but then it gets better because then you said yes, but you're mad about it deep on the inside. And so then you show up and you're mean and angry
and resentful.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't believe they even asked me to do this.
Right.
Or why am I always the one that gets stuck doing blah, blah, and blah?
Yep.
Guess what?
Yep.
You need only look to yourself.
Look in the mirror.
I am speaking to me as
she
much
is
as anyone
to blame.
else. If you are a natural giver, I do love to give gifts. I'm always making something.
Yes.
It brings me so much joy. I love to like be creative and make little things and then give them away because I can only have so much stuff in my house. But we should question our motives for giving, because people pleasers tend to give to get the favor and approval of others versus out of joy, just pure joy out of sharing and give it, and the actual gift of giving.
Oh, and you know the difference when you're doing it.
Yes.
There's something to be said for, I'm so excited. This reminds me of so-and-so, so I can't wait to get this for them. Versus, I have to find a gift.
Yeah.
And then you show up and you smile and you give them the gift.
Yes. Or if you do something just out of duty.
Yeah.
Which sometimes we do have to do things. I mean,
I have to cook Thanksgiving. I had to cook Thanksgiving dinner out of duty.
Right, exactly.
Thank goodness my sister and husband were there. But...
Actually, you didn't have to. You could have ordered it.
That's true. I did try. I was like, babe, we should have totally gotten that Costco dinner for $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just, consider your motives when you're giving. And when I say giving, that could be monetarily. It could be a gift. It could be your time. Anything of yourself. Just ask yourself, what are my motivations behind doing this?
And sometimes, though, let me tell you how this can turn into selfishness. Because I'm an expert on selfishness. So sometimes you can decide, I'm not going to do that because I'm doing it from a place of XYZ, but really you're just giving yourself a hall pass.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, actually, I don't really want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. But you're just feeding your own selfishness when you're afraid to face something that you don't want to face.
Exactly. Again, what are your motivations?
Yeah.
Are you trying to hide from something? Are you just being rebellious and annoying?
Yes, I am
like a
all
teenager.
the time, actually.
Are you trying to get a jab in? That's not a good motivation not to do something.
Yes.
And so we should always consider our motivations. This is challenging and convicting, especially for me. So if you might be a people pleaser if you help without being asked.
Oh.
Like, do you just jump in and volunteer when no one's asked you to? Now, let's keep in mind that sometimes there are people in our lives that are incapable of asking for help. And we can see that they need it. There are times when we need to step in to that. That's why it's good to be connected with the Lord, because He helps us discern that.
But they're also probably fewer and far between than you think.
Exactly. Exactly. So this isn't a black and white, okay, issue. There's always a, special case. But for the most part, if you find yourself just jumping in and helping when no one's asked, you might be a people pleaser or have a people pleaser problem. So just pause.
Yeah. And
Pause before volunteering.
yes,
Wait
unless
for an
it's doing
ask.
the dishes, then always volunteer.
Yeah. Like, would you, okay, just think about when you went to the prom. Would you just show up to a guy's house and say, I'm here to be your date?
This day and age, I wouldn't put it past them.
That's true.
These weird
Let's
promposal
go back.
things.
Let's go back to our day and age. I
Back
don't
in
know what's
my
going on
day.
now, but that would be weird, right? I mean, you wait for the ask, or you're prayerful about something before you step in. So just consider that. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, it's good to pause before we do anything in life, especially open our mouths if you're Melissa and I. You might be a people pleaser if every single evite and invitation that you've received over the holiday season, you have said yes to. Even if it means that you are overbooking yourself and doing an afternoon gift exchange, an early cocktail, and then a play. If you're doing all three things, that's probably too much. That might mean you're a people pleaser.
And you better not go and be mean to those people because you're the one that said yes to 32 things.
Right. Yes. So there are a lot of downsides to that. Like, I get it. People, you want to fit everybody in, you want to do everything. And we have a little FOMO, fear of missing out on a certain event. But if you consider your motivations in saying yes to everything and really get down to the heart of the matter, it's usually an insecurity or a fear of being left out or missing something. And that's not a reason to go to something.
Right. But, I was in that trap at one point.
Yes.
This was years ago, but I just felt like
100%.
I have to go do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think we can still fall into that. Even if we're recovering people pleasers, we can still fall into that trap, especially around certain seasons and holidays, because it is a time when everyone is doing something special, and it's like, oh my gosh, why can't we spread all these things out over the whole year so I could do them all? But when we don't, sorry, I just hit my hand. It really hurt, actually. When we don't take time to prioritize those things, we really aren't enjoying
Any of it. Right.
And we get flustered and we are tired and we're cranky and we're rushing about. And if you're dragging the kids to some of these things, it's just not worth it.
Right. And also consider, why do you have FOMO? Like, what is that rooted in? Is it because maybe you need to change a family tradition?
Yes.
Maybe you need to make a family tradition that you really love and that you could create your own thing. My husband and I do, on Christmas Eve, we do an open house, and that's our thing.
I love that.
Lots of times we don't even go to Christmas Eve service because we're hosting people at our house, and we don't know who we're hosting until they show up.
I love that, because a lot of people don't do things on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
We always did something with our family on Christmas Eve, mostly. That was like our biggest night. But now that things are changing, sometimes we don't have anything to do on Christmas Eve, and it feels weird and odd and lonely.
I just had a friend say, this is the loneliest time of year for me. It's so hard. Her family's in another country, and her house is not a welcoming home. And so she's like, this is the hardest time of year for me. And so she will be with me.
Yes, I love that.
Come on, girl.
Come on.
Welcome to my chaos.
I love that. So there's certain things that are worth filling your calendar with, but sit with the Lord.
Yes.
And, maybe your gift to Him this holiday season is access to our hearts. To kind of sift through some of those insecurities and fears that we do have and place them on the altar and give them to Him and let Him kind of get in there and make it better. Make it worthwhile. Okay. This is another people-pleasing issue.
I like it already.
You might be a people pleaser if you cannot stand any conflict and you have to jump in, whether you're involved or not, and try to fix the problem.
I'm going to need you to explain that to me.
Okay, I'm a little in the clouds, aren't I?
You're up there.
All right, so say Aunt so-and-so and cousin so-and-so are coming to your house, and they've got beef. That's what the kids say now if you got issues.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I got beef.
I got beef. So they're coming into your house, and what you're doing is you're overcompensating for that. Like, oh, can I help you do this? You're trying to make them, you feel like it's your responsibility to make it better for them. Maybe even apologize when it's not even your issue. You find yourself apologizing for someone else, overcompensating for that. Not your job.
You know, there's this thing that we say, draw a circle around yourself. Mm-hmm. That's what you're responsible for.
Yes, and people pleasers have a hard time, though, staying in that circle and being okay when there's conflict around them and not jumping in to fix it. And honestly, I get this. I mean, I want everybody to be happy
and comfortable.
You know, especially if you're hosting and the hospitality aspect of that. But we cannot fix other people. And we have to be okay in sitting in that conflict and just doing our part. Maybe praying, being kind, but not overextending ourselves. Hey, if they're over in the corner having some beef and it's getting in the way, you can say, hey, I know that y'all need to have this conversation. Please go outside.
Yeah, girl.
So we don't disturb, the other family or get them involved. And maybe, they ask you to mediate. Probably not. Again, going back to the other one, if they ask for your help, like, hey, we have this problem. We could use someone that we trust that's neutral to come and help us talk this through. Great, help them. But don't jump in without an ask.
I even see this becoming a problem pre-planning, right? So a lot of times you end up saying, oh gosh, like this person and this person don't get along, so now I have to have 2 different events. Nope.
No, you don't.
You do not. And if they go, oh, well, is Johnny coming? You can say, Johnny's going to be here, so if you don't want to come, that's on you. You're invited, but you put the ball in their court. You're not going to change your whole life and rearrange your entire whatever event just because they might get their feelings hurt.
Right. And again, this isn't totally black and white, depending on the situation. I mean, there could be something more serious that's like a safety issue for someone, that they don't feel safe emotionally or physically or whatever. This isn't just like, she said my apple pie was terrible last year and I'm not talking to her.
Right.
Again, you have to use your discernment in these, but sit with these things and ask yourself, about, do I say yes when I really mean no? Is my desire to give more out of helping or getting people to like me versus just pure joy in giving? Do I just help without being asked? Do I just jump in? Do I fill up and try to go to every possible event and just crush my calendar where I'm just angry and confused and tired and running from place to place and ragged? And can I sit with the conflict of other people and not feel like I have to jump in to do it? That's people-pleasing behavior. And you don't have to people-please because God is already pleased with you and adores you. Mm-hmm. And I pray that we can all sit with the Word of God, keep our priorities straight, be confident in who we are in Him.
Yes.
So that we don't feel like we have to please other people. Because let me tell you something. These other people we're trying to please, they don't get us to heaven.
Right.
They don't forgive like Jesus. They don't love like Jesus. They don't look like Jesus. They don't give like Jesus. They're good people and we love them because they're our family and friends. But they are definitely not Jesus. And He is the one. We don't have to strive to please Him. I'm not saying that. But if we're leaning on Him, these other things fall away.
Love it. Yes. No people pleasing, friends. That's what, if we're going to do New Year's resolutions, that's what it is.
There you go.
No more people pleasing.
But you know how I feel about New Year's resolutions.
I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah. Whole nother podcast. You can go back and listen to last year. We just don't do that.
That's right.
Hey, thanks for joining us this week on The Sinner and the Saint.